Okay, folks, so as you have noticed throughout this short series so far, that each new day that I film, I always give an updated count on how many people have been diagnosed with the coronavirus worldwide and in the US. And in episode 3, I decided to take a measurement, take the measurements one step further and see how many cases we've added worldwide and in the US in a roughly 3 day span. And in this case, the first, I call it set number 1 here, uh, started on March 19th with the 11:30 a.m. update. These numbers, by the way, were provided by the Johns Hopkins University Coronavirus Resource Center from March 19th, 11:30 a.m. to March 22nd at 7:30 p.m. And you saw that in that span of time between updates, we've added 104,834 worldwide and 23,658. And then I also decided to continue further by giving you percentage points, right? Percentage of, like, what is the percentage of the people who died in relation to how many cases worldwide, as well as the numbers, as well as the people who have recovered, the numbers for that as well. And so I decided to continue with that. Now, unfortunately, set number 2, the interval of time, March 22nd to March 26th, that is not an equal interval compared to the first set. So unfortunately, the numbers for this particular set are not equal, or they're not accurate in comparison to the first set. But I think you and I know the moral of the story here, that these numbers are going to continue to spike. They're going to continue to keep shooting upward. However, set number 3, I'm going to try to get a much more equal measurement, exactly 3 days, or 4 days, I should say. So this next set, March 26th, 12 o'clock p.m., will be to March 30th at 12 o'clock p.m., or whatever time is the closest to 12 o'clock p.m. when they update the website. But let's look at this set number 2, 332,577 to 495,086. That's a gain of 162,509 worldwide. 33,073 in the US alone to 69,684, a gain of 36,611. Now, even if the interval between with March 22nd to March 26th, even if I ended up making the interval equal to the first set, this number will definitely be more than 104,834. That's for sure. But what I really want to focus on are these percentage points here. By the way, let's take a look at the number of fatalities from the 22nd all the way through the 26th. We've gained, I got here 7,845. Total number recovered, 22,103. So even though we've added more cases worldwide, and even though more people are dying day by day, there are still a lot of people that recover a lot faster. So I like to see this number keep going up over the number of fatalities. Now, sadly, percentage points wise, they're all in red ink, because the total number of cases worldwide, sorry, let me restart that. So as of the 26th, with these numbers here, 71.3% are currently recovering. They at least are still battling the virus. That is up 5.1%. The number of deaths worldwide in relation to the number of cases has risen 0.2% to 4.5. Still a low number, but I just do not like that deficit here, minus 5.2%. Even though 119,978 is a pretty good number to look at, that the total number recovered compared to the total cases worldwide has dipped down to 24.2%. So I didn't have to spend 5 minutes explaining this, and you're probably thinking that at home. But basically the moral of the story is we are still not out of the woods yet. We are very much in the thick of this. But hopefully as I learn how to take more accurate measurements and proper intervals of time, perhaps maybe then we can start to see, hopefully, these numbers be a little more accurate, and then hopefully those accurate numbers start to trend on the positive side. You know, the last time that I featured this place on camera, you'd have to go back to Hurricane Sandy almost 8 years ago. I was out here filming the waters raging quite a bit with all the wind. But this is a place where I normally like to go, especially during the summertime, to just either go for a walk or on a bike ride. But I feel like I'd pick this place for some peace and quiet after being in the park yesterday. But anyway, before I continue with what I have to say, I just want to say a very special thanks and gratitude to all the medical personnel, doctors and nurses, healthcare professions, who are directly involved with helping people who have been infected with the coronavirus. They have worked endlessly and to just help these patients who have been sick recover nicely. And you see it all in the news, and now I want to be able to get my word of thanks in, and that your hard work pays off. And the message is clear that we are going to get through this, and sooner or later we'll be back to our normal routines going to be restored. So just one giant thanks from me. So I really like the concept of virtual technology, broadcasting live sporting events or other forms of entertainment over the web or over the TV without the use of a studio. And the reason why I say this is because I was checking my email earlier today, and I still get emails from my alma mater, Kane University, and there was information regarding commencement ceremonies. And when I read the email, basically what it said, that because the Prudential Center and NJPAC, which is the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, is not going to be available for the university to use for graduation exercises, what they've decided to do, what Kane has decided to do, is do a virtual commencement ceremony where anybody, I guess, anyone who's graduating, I guess, will have to watch from home over their either their tablets or their laptops, but they would still it would still function like the normal commencement, with all the commencement speakers and the reading of names, and everybody has to everyone will get acknowledged, basically, wearing cap and gown. So I mean, it was hard. I guess, I would know it would be a hard decision for them to make, but it was obviously the right one, because graduation is usually a time to celebrate and have everybody together. But when you're packing 20,000 people in a small amount of space, not long after this whole thing blows over, it obviously doesn't make any sense. But I actually did wish that there was a virtual simulcast of the graduation ceremony. I mean, yes, we have live streams and all, but this is going to be nothing like we've ever seen before. And the reason why I wanted to say that I wanted, you know, a virtual graduation is because I'm not a guy that likes to be around big crowds. And this was true, obviously this was true even before the coronavirus outbreak. I always found myself to be tense and be nervous when I'm surrounded in a sea of people. And when I graduated from Kane almost 3 years ago, I needed special accommodations to enjoy the ceremony while keeping my my mental health in check. So I ended up watching graduation from a different point of view. And, you know, by having a virtual graduation, or at least if there was the option to have a virtual graduation, obviously experiencing graduation wouldn't have been the same over the computer as it is over the arena. But still, I would be able to experience graduation surrounded by my own family, and I would not have had to consult with the guidance counselors and therapists at my school to set up the accommodations for me for graduation at the time. So I really am looking forward to this virtual technology to be integrated into our society. I'm pretty sure, you know, given the rate of how technology has been advancing in recent years, probably we would have had something like this in a few years from now. But obviously, with the outbreak going, we had to push the date up a little bit. But again, I'm all for it because I think for people like me, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that don't like the huge crowds, don't like the loud environment. It feels very overwhelming, and this virtual technology would be a great asset to integrate in addition to celebrating graduation or celebrating, you know, award festivals, award ceremonies like the Oscars or the Emmys without having to feel pressure to be in the venue. So also it provides people who live far away and cannot make the trip to be able to still be just as equally involved with the rest of the festivities, just as much as the person who is in the venue or is at the site itself. I can't believe that I'm already at 5 episodes of the COVID-19 Chronicles. And certainly there's been a lot of excitement over the last several days as we all have to adapt to a limited lifestyle. Obviously, I'm using the term excitement very loosely. There is nothing exciting about being in a pandemic where you have to be at home for a majority of the day, but I still just find it astounding that we've had to just adapt in just such a short period of time to this limited lifestyle. The numbers are still climbing rapidly worldwide as the total cases stands at 649,904 as of the 2:37 p.m. update of March 28th. Yesterday, the United States surpassed China as far as number of confirmed COVID-19 cases, and there are currently 115,547 U.S. cases, but keep in mind, the ratio is still small compared to hard-hit places like Italy and Spain, which has a much lower population. Many of you are probably familiar with this term called a holding pattern. I know anyone who is an aviation geek knows what a holding pattern is. But for those of you who don't know, a holding pattern is basically when airplanes fly in this oval-like shape, very similar to a racetrack, and are usually close to their destination. Holding patterns are flown for a number of reasons. They could be weather-related, congestion at the airport, or an emergency at the airport. And basically, if you are in a hold, you can't land. And I say this because I firmly believe that while many say that life is on pause, which factually it is, I'd like to think of it more as a holding pattern. We have not fully put on the brakes on life, as we still have access to the large marketplaces like Walmart, Kroger, and ShopRite, and we're still allowed on the road, so as long as it's not between 8 p.m. and 5 p.m. Meanwhile, history was made recently as the president signed the massive $2 trillion stimulus bill yesterday. Now let's put that in perspective, folks. $2 trillion. That is, I believe, 12 zeros. In other words, you need roughly 18 Jeff Bezos to equal the amount of cash in this stimulus package. It's simple. Individuals who have filed taxes will receive $1,200, and couples would get $2,400 if their adjusted gross income is less than $75,000 a year. Payment is reduced to those making over $75,000 but below $99,000. And married couples who file a joint tax return will get full benefits if the gross income is under $150K, partial benefits above $150K but below $198K, and then no payment to those who have made over $198,000. Now, as you know, I also filed for unemployment a few days ago, and the bill also has benefits for those who have filed for unemployment. And I actually got the newspaper clipping right here. I'm going to read this section. The bill expands eligibility for unemployment insurance benefits and provides $600 a week for 4 months over and above state benefits. This will ensure that most employees receive their full pay for a quarter of the year. Well, I just hope that this will stabilize the economy some. I mean, I don't know how much more beating we can take, but one thing I know for sure, and for many of us, seeing a paycheck in the midst of this societal standstill brings a bit of levity to those who have especially been deeply impacted by the coronavirus.
Rounds out the top 10 with Timmy Hill, who finished third last week. Here they come off turn number 4 for 125 laps. We're racing in Texas.
First lap there, Mike, is we're seeing a lot of 2 wide, and one of the things I ran one of these race cars on one of the iRacing rigs, not in a pack of cars like this, but you have a lot of grip for about 2 or 3 laps. You can run wide open through 3, or almost wide open through 1 and 2, but that right front tire will start to get worn out. You see them up and down, it shoved to the outside in 3 and 4.
We got the racetrack and that yellow Ford there. Ryan Priest chasing the 19. That is not Martin Truex. It's Bobby Labonte racing for Joe Gibbs in the 19 this week. See, it's 21. Matthew Benedetto in that group. John Wood of the Wood Brothers came up with an idea on Twitter Once visitors were no longer being allowed in nursing homes, and Wood Brothers Racing has raised $33,000 from over 1,200 individual donors to buy 212 computer tablets that have been sent to 12 nursing homes so patients can have them and they can Skype or FaceTime with their loved ones who are unable to visit. Well, I mean, just one of many wonderful gestures by the whole NASCAR community.
That's what I was going to say, Mike. We've got such a generous community, and this opportunity that gives them a chance to get out there and race, gives them a chance to connect with their fans, but it really gets the community engaged in giving back and doing things. Everybody recognizes where things are at in the world, in this country, and doing all that they can while they're able to also come here and put on a great show racing. That's fantastic.
Because Hamlin, working his way, continuing to climb up through the field. Kyle Larson, hard at work. He's in 6th place. That's Garrett's.
Closes up tight. 27 lead lap cars were racing in Fort Worth.
And Hill, really nice job getting down to that inside lane to stay in 2nd place. Positions. Now here comes Garrett Smidley. Will he do the same?
Free to go. Chip, this is as good as it gets on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, man, I mean, this racing is incredible. We saw it last week. We're seeing it again here, especially on these late restarts. Diving all the way to the apron on the back straightaway to go 3 wide.
That put Kligerman on the inside of Nemechek for 3rd. Hudson up the hill.
Kligerman
Kligerman gets it, and Kreese gets a shot down